New inventory.
Yeah.
How about the 67 Plymouth GTX hardtop? Bright red over red. Correct 440 cubic inch V8. Correct A833 4-speed manual.
Great.
True GTX. The restoration is splendid, as somebody said. I don't know who said that. Maybe you. Maybe Peter.
I think that I did not write that. I don't use the word splendid. That sounds like
Splenda. The sweetener.
Is a great car.
It really
beautiful,
is.
show ready.
Yeah.
Just spectacular. That is a word I use.
Yeah, and the neat thing about this GTX is that it's really turnkey. I mean, and turnkey doesn't mean you get in and turn the key, although it does mean that. But it also means that it can be used in other terms or applications that don't mean something that has a key that you turn in and it just starts right away and you don't need to do anything else.
Right.
Turnkey can be a turnkey business where you just, well, I guess you do. You turn the key into the door and you walk in and it's ready to go. So maybe it does have key reference. So what the hell do I know?
I don't know. Turnkey wife.
Turnkey wife,
ready to go.
Turnkey wife, turnkey life, right? A happy life, happy wife, or whatever. So anyway, back to the GTX. One of 11,000 hardtop GTX produced in '67 with a 440, and one of only like 2,400 with a 4-speed manual.
That's right.
You know, that's a collectible car, and it's really, really. It used to be unloved. The GTX was kind of unloved. People didn't appreciate it, or maybe it's not that they didn't appreciate it. Maybe they just didn't really know what it was.
Right.
It's a boxy looking car. It's doesn't have as sexy a lines as maybe a Charger or a Challenger, some of those type of cars, Camaro obviously, and Mustangs. But boy, it checks all the right boxes though. And if you're into something a little bit different than most, then that's a great car for a car show, because not everybody has GTXs when you pull up at the car show.
Not 67s. That's
certainly not 67s.
Right.
So now, in a completely different direction, how about the 1916 Cole 860 Series 30 touring car?
Yeah.
Norland green and black over black, one of 79 in existence.
Right.
And it's not like they only made 80.
No.
They made 40,000
of them. And
40,000 of them.
I'm not quite sure exactly what happened to them all.
Yeah.
When I did the research on this car, I'm like, where are the rest of them?
Yeah, where did they
There's
go?
only 79 left.
Yeah, how can that possibly be? I mean, attrition, I get it. You know, floods, fires, damage, wrecks, rust, all the things that can make a car go bye-bye.
Export, maybe?
Export. 40,717 built. I mean, where the heck did they go? I don't
know, but those 79 people are very close, and they have a little club.
They all know each other. Well, yeah, and it's a V8, which was only the second car that had a V8. Cadillac had a V8 in 1915.
Yeah.
And then Cole in 1916, and it is a stunning car. The green, I tell you, more and more I love the color green on a car. Yeah. And I didn't used to like green, but there's some really cool greens out there. The Aston Martin that we have, a DBR9 Racing Green is the actual name of the color. This one is Norland Green. There are Fathom Greens. There are other greens that Chevrolet had that were really kind of cool. Dark green.
We just got a custom Thunderbird, and I'm not going to say much about it because it's not on the website yet, but it's green. And
I had a 72 Firebird they called the color julep. It was a beautiful dark green.
I like a good mint julep, by the way. Other new inventory here at the mall. 1968 Chevrolet Camaro hardtop, 30,000 actual miles. Now think about that. How many years is that car? 60 to 50. So that math thing is getting you again, right? So it's like 56 years old. Is that right?
54 years old.
54. Yeah. No, it's more than that. No, 56.
I was born in 65, and I was born
59. In 62, and I'm 62. Oh. So, yeah. So anyway, quit doing the math. Numbers matching 327 cubic inch V8. Numbers matching Power Glide automatic transmission, which is not an unusual transmission for those. There were probably a lot of them built with that. An unusual transmission for it to still have in it. A lot of people switched them over to a turbo hydromatic or a manual transmission, a 3-speed or a 4-speed manual back in the day. So to see a 2-speed Power Glide is pretty interesting. You don't see a lot of those. Mostly original interior, got known history. And of course, it'll go well for the big event that we have coming up here, the Camaro Nationals, as you
I hope it's still here.
Yeah, that will probably.
Well, I don't hope it's still. I mean, no matter what, it's cool for people to see who are Camaro fans.
Yeah, the Camaro fans will like this car a lot. This checks a lot of the right boxes. And the fact that you didn't change the transmission to something more desirable, sorry, it's just what it is. I like that. I like that the car has remained true to what it was. If you want to make something different, then pick something that the original engine is long gone, the original transmission is long gone.
Right.
Pick one of those and resto mod the heck out of it.
Right.
Do whatever you want. I don't care.
This is more uncommon to find one with numbers matching than it is to
we
find
had a Camaro convertible just recently that we just sold. It was a 6-cylinder, and a lot of people would take those, and it was Camaro convertible, first gen, 6-cylinder. A lot of people would take those and put a 327 or a 396 or a 350 or whatever in them. And we applaud the fact that they kept that one original, as they have kept this one original. And there's just so many variables in the 67, 68, 69 cars. I mean, the option list on some of those was probably pages and pages of options. And if you did this and you did that and you got that and you got this, and if you ever build a car online at some of the websites, you get this into, can't have that without, you got to get rid of this. Can't have the heated seats without the sunroof. Well, you got to have the sunroof to have the lime and the coconut, and then call me in the,
Right. And that's where Jerry McNeish comes in, and we've had Frank, what was his name?
Incremona? Yeah.
Wrote a book on Camaro. So these guys really know their stuff.
Oh, they do.
There's a lot of ins and outs.
And there's a T in learned, by the way.
Is that right?
Learned. That's
Once
where I come from.
That's right.
Come from East Tennessee.
Yeah, that's right.
How about the 1924 other new inventory, the 1924 Ford T-Bucket?
Yeah.
That's all you got.
The purple one.
The violet. White and violet over
cool.
white.
Oh, yeah.
Now, listen. T-buckets can be cobbled together, entry-level hot rods. Listen, we know that most of them are that way. They're the car of a couple of generations ago that if you didn't have a lot of money, you got a fiberglass bucket, you got a frame, you got an engine, you got some tires and wheels, and ding, dang, doong, away you go.
Right.
And it was probably the cheapest entry level or cheapest way into the hobby. Well, this thing is not that. This thing is a Pittsburgh World of Wheels winner in 2018, 2019. It's got a 454 in it. High quality build, turbo hydromatic 350. The paint is just crazy, and it reminds you of the old car shows back in the day at the Coliseums. It's a rolling work of art, and you don't say that about many T-buckets. And no, listen, T-bucket guys, don't get offended by what I say here, because you know it's true. I'm not saying anything out of turn here. T-buckets are just, that's the way they are. But if you want a T-bucket that is going to stand out from the crowd, this bad boy is right up your alley.
It's a pure show car.
It really is.
It's even like chromed underneath and painted underneath. Like if you put it up on a lift, it's still show worthy. It's an amazing car. And
do we put every car up on the lift? Why, yes, we do, unless they don't fit.
Right.
I don't think the Power Wagon went off.
We can walk under that one.
Yeah, you can walk in and take pictures, so you don't need to worry about that. We got a Dodge Power Wagon that we'll talk about in the next episode or two. That's unbelievable. I mean, it needs a not just a step ladder to get up onto it. It needs like a extension ladder with,
I think Garrett said he climbed the knobby tires to get up there.
Kind of do a bounce up and hit one leg and hope you can.
Parkour.
Yeah.
But it's on the website, classicautomall.com.
Yeah.
It's a fabulous truck.
Yeah. Other new inventory, how about something of a fresher, newer ilk? 2017 Chevrolet Camaro 2SS 50th Anniversary Edition convertible. Love this color name. Nightfall Gray Metallic. Over ebony and gray, 25,000 actual miles. So it's been driven for a high performance collectible car that's now 7 years old. That's a reasonable amount of miles. It's not too many and it's not too few. What makes a car like these 2017 Camaros the value is in the mileage. But the problem is that if you buy one with 500 miles on it versus you buy one with 25,000, you're going to pay exponentially more for the one with 500 miles, and then driving it hurts the value. So then what do you do? So now you've got a car that you can't drive without hurting the value. And if you're into that kind of thing and not worried about the value, which I think you should be, then go for it. Drive the heck out of it. Drive it until you don't want to drive it anymore. If you lose money, well, so be it. It's just money.
Some people are okay with that.
Some people are okay with it, some are not. But this thing is a 6.2 liter LT1 V8, fully loaded. It's the anniversary model, which is kind of rare. Automatic transmission, ready to show and go. I mean, how many millions of Camaros have been built? I mean,
a lot. Lots of special editions.
Yeah, then they started back in 2010 after they had stopped in 2002, right? Was it 2002? I think was the last year of the Camaro as we knew it. And then in 2010, they brought it back to mixed reviews. Not everybody loved it when it first came out. It certainly worked its way into its looks now, and I've probably grown on people more than it has.
I think so.
I think the Challenger was the one that really hit it out of the park as far as a retro look of a new car. I think that was the best of the retooling of the Chargers and the Mustangs. Although the new Mustangs are pretty cool looking too.
Oh yeah,
I mean There's nothing wrong. And I'm not a Mustang guy, but they're pretty cool looking. This thing is pretty amazing, though. I think there was only 5,000 anniversary editions built, and about 800 or so were in the Nightfall Gray. So certainly makes it collectible. Other new inventory in, this is kind of an oddball piece, but I love it, the 67 Ford Thunderbird sedan. Suicide doors, 49,000 actual miles.
The black one.
Yeah, 428 these things came with. And later they came with a 429.
Total sleeper, this car.
These were sleepers. My grandmother had one, and this thing was fast.
Yeah.
I remember she looked over at me, and I was about, 4 or 5 years old. We were in Kingsport, Tennessee, where they lived. And she said, "Phil, how fast this car is." And she floored it, and that thing was like jumped and went. I always had a soft spot. It's C6 automatic with a 428 in this thing. I mean, these things would go.
It's really, it's kind of like an understated style.
I think they're elegant.
It's elegant.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think of it as a fast car, but the suicide doors are very cool. I mean, you just don't see it that often.
No, you really don't. And you can't really afford to restore one of these because you'll get yourself upside down really quick. So you either got to do it because you love it, because your grandmother had one and you want to remember that, or you want to do it because you think there's more value in it after you're done with it. There's lots of reasons that you restore a car, and lots of ways to justify it, whether you're doing it out of love or out of money or out of a combination of the two or whatever it is. And listen, but I tell everybody, and everybody in this industry, in this hobby, will tell you this: buy what you like, no matter what it is. So when Kathy and I buy a car to resell, we like to keep our finger on the pulse and have a car or two that we buy just to resell, to see if we can, make sure we're keeping our chops up in the world. Sure. And we always buy stuff that we like, that if it didn't sell, then we're not going to, like that 63 Grand Prix that I bought. I mean, it hadn't sold. I've got it priced up, but it's worth it.
It's nice.
It's a special car.
It is.
And but it's one of those cars that I've always wanted. So if it's tri-power, it's 8 lug wheels, it checks all the boxes. If I don't sell it, well, so what?
Part of your collection.
Yeah, just add it to the collection. So the collection that came and went. I had one, then I had kids and had college and all that.
Did you?
Yeah. And then I got rid of all those pesky kids and just pray that they don't call and ask for money. Hey, Dad, I got something important to ask you. This is going to be money. Yeah. I know it's going to be money.
Check that car off the list.
It's always money. So anyway, check out the 67 Ford Thunderbird when you get a chance on our website or here in the mall. We're open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 to 5. We're open Wednesdays, 9 to 8. So if you work during the day, during the week, you can come in. Or on the weekend, we're open 9 to noon on Saturday, closed on Sunday.
This has been the Classic Auto Mall Show with your host, Stewart Howden.